So I was doing a devotional and I came across the story of Moses, specifically when he was disobedient to God. Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt into the wilderness, and he was leading them to the promised land. Leading up to this act of disobedience, Moses followed God's instructions to the T, like he was on it. But this specific time, the Israelites were thirsty. They were complaining against Moses and Aaron, like, oh, you brought us here to die. We had this back in Egypt. This instance happened previously in Exodus. The Israelites complained for water and God provided, but with a different set of instructions. I'm gonna get to that. Moses, being the mediator between the Israelites and God, prayed. Him and his brother Aaron both fell on their face, and God gave them specific instructions. Previously, God told Moses to strike a rock. And just for a little historical context, the location or the area that they were in back then, the rocks had water in them. Okay, Moses was obedient to that. But this time around, God told Moses, instead of striking the rock, he wanted him to speak to the rock. Moses didn't do all that, okay? He struck the rock twice. And I could imagine his reasoning. Some people believe that it was because he was angry. The Israelites were complaining to him. He was angry. He was frustrated. Regardless of the reasoning, he still disobeyed God. God was angry, not just for the simple fact that he did not follow his instructions, but because Moses stole the glory. Before Moses struck the rock, he said, shall we, as in Moses and Aaron, shall we bring forth water for you? The consequence that he gave Moses was that he would not be able to enter the promised land. He would only be able to see it. What stuck out to me in God's response was that he said, because you did not believe in me. That confused me because I was like, well, what does that mean? Did he just all of a sudden become an atheist? That then led me to Numbers 14. It talks about the Israelites complaining again about their current situation, and they decided to go back. They wanted to choose a leader for themselves to take them back to Egypt. God wasn't having it, and because of this, he decided that he was going to destroy all of them. But because of Moses, he interceded for them. His response was similar to the response he gave to Moses. He said, and how long will they not believe in me in spite of all the signs that I have done among them? Stay with me, we're going somewhere now. I was then led to Exodus 4, and this was when Moses was called by God. Here we can see that Moses struggled with unbelief. He didn't believe that the Israelites would listen to what he had to say because of his speech insecurity. This belief within himself that God couldn't possibly use his mouth, his voice, to display his glory. I believe that the reason that God responded to Moses in this way, I'm sorry y'all, the mosquitoes are tearing me up. But anyway, we're gonna keep it pushing, okay? I believe that God responded this way, and why the consequence was so severe for Moses was because he wasn't new to the miraculous hand of God. He was in this leadership position. He was so uniquely close to God. This shouldn't have been his heart posture, but he was leaning on his own understanding, and he was putting his insecurities over the experiences that he had with God. Moses was human, just like you and me. We have to make sure that we aren't allowing those insecurities to take precedence over our knowledge of God, or cause us to miss the very thing that God had purposed for us to obtain. I don't know who is going to come across this video, but you have seen enough of God's providence in your life. You have experienced the supernatural hand of God in whatever way that may be for you, enough to still not trust and believe that he can work through you. Don't allow your own understanding and insecurities to cause you to disobey God's voice. I don't care if the thing that he is telling you to do can still be done in a different way, in a more comfortable way. Be obedient, because it's not for your glory, it's for his. Believe that God can use you right where you are with what you have.